The person you love wants to tell you something very important right now. Please read this message. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Before you decide these words are meant for someone else, pause for just a moment and let yourself breathe. Imagine that somewhere in this world, someone who has been carrying unspoken feelings is finally finding the courage to face what has lived inside their heart for far too long. This is not about predicting your future. It is a story about hope, honesty, and the quiet moments that often change our lives in ways we never expected. If you've ever wondered why certain people leave a lasting imprint on your heart, why some connections continue to matter long after the conversation ends, or why a familiar face keeps returning to your thoughts when everything else has changed, then stay with this message until the end. Sometimes life places a story in front of us at exactly the right time, not because it promises answers, but because it reminds us to believe that healing and truth are still possible. Listen carefully. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Picture someone sitting alone after another ordinary day, staring out a window as the evening sky slowly turns gold and then fades into deep blue. The world around them is quiet, but their thoughts are louder than ever. They replay old conversations, missed opportunities, words they wish they had spoken, and moments they wish they had held on to just a little longer. They remember your kindness. They remember the way you listened when no one else seemed to understand. They remember the comfort they felt simply knowing you existed. And for the first time in a long time, they stop asking themselves how they can keep hiding their feelings and begin asking a different question. How much longer can I keep pretending these feelings aren't real? Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Sometimes the hardest words to speak are also the most important. Fear has a way of convincing people that silence is safer than honesty. It whispers that telling the truth will only make everything more complicated. It says that keeping emotions hidden is easier than risking disappointment. But silence has its own cost. Every day those words remain unspoken, they grow heavier. Every memory becomes more meaningful. Every reminder becomes more impossible to ignore. The person in this story has reached that place where carrying the truth alone feels more exhausting than finally sharing it. They don't expect perfection. They don't expect everything to magically fall into place. They simply know they can no longer keep living as though their heart has nothing to say. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Have you ever noticed how certain moments seem to invite reflection? Maybe you catch yourself looking at the clock at 11:11 more often than usual. Maybe you notice repeating numbers like 222 or 444 during meaningful days. Many people choose to see these moments as gentle reminders to pause, reflect, and reconnect with hope. Whether you view them as spiritual symbols or simply meaningful coincidences, they can encourage you to slow down and listen to your own heart. Sometimes the greatest message doesn't come from outside us at all. Sometimes it comes from the quiet realization that we already know what truly matters. The person who has been thinking about you is beginning to experience that realization. They are discovering that no amount of distraction can replace genuine honesty. No busy schedule can erase meaningful memories. No passing season can completely silence emotions that have been patiently waiting to be acknowledged. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Imagine finding an old letter you never had the courage to send. You read every line and suddenly remember exactly how you felt when you wrote it. Nothing in the letter has changed, yet you have. You understand yourself differently now. You recognize the fears that once controlled your decisions. You see how uncertainty kept you from expressing what mattered most. That is where this person finds themselves today. They are looking back, not to remain trapped in the past, but to understand how far they have come. Growth has changed them. Life has humbled them. Experience has taught them that authentic connection is worth more than appearances, pride, or pretending everything is fine. They are no longer interested in hiding behind excuses. They are becoming someone who values truth, even when truth feels uncomfortable. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. While they have been changing, you have been changing too. Perhaps you have learned that your happiness cannot depend entirely on another person's choices. Perhaps you have discovered strengths you never knew you possessed. There were days when you thought you would never stop wondering, never stop hoping, or never stop questioning why certain people remain in your heart. Yet here you are, still moving forward, still growing, still learning to choose peace over panic. That journey matters. It has shaped you into someone who understands the value of patience, compassion, and self-respect. Whatever tomorrow brings, those qualities will remain with you. They are part of who you are now. They are gifts earned through experience, and no one can take them away. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. The person in this story has started noticing that life feels different when they stop running from their emotions. Small moments have become more meaningful. Familiar places bring unexpected memories. Simple conversations encourage deeper reflection. Instead of asking how they can avoid the truth, they are asking how they can face it with kindness and maturity. That shift may seem small, but it changes everything. Every meaningful relationship begins with honesty. Every lasting connection grows stronger through understanding. Every new chapter starts with someone choosing courage over fear. They know they cannot rewrite yesterday, but they can decide who they will be today. That decision is quietly transforming their world. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. There is something deeply comforting about realizing that growth is possible for everyone. No matter how much time has passed, people can become wiser. They can learn from mistakes. They can choose better words, healthier actions, and more compassionate perspectives. They can discover that vulnerability is not weakness but one of the greatest forms of strength. The person who once struggled to express themselves is beginning to understand this truth. They no longer want to leave important feelings hidden beneath layers of uncertainty. They want their actions to match what their heart has known for a long time. They understand that even if the outcome remains uncertain, honesty brings a peace that silence never could. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. As you continue reading, remember that every meaningful relationship is built one conversation at a time. Sometimes that conversation begins with a simple admission. Sometimes it starts with an apology. sometimes it begins with gratitude. Whatever form it takes, sincerity has the power to open doors that fear keeps closed. If this story reminds you of someone, let it also remind you that your own life is still unfolding. There are chapters you have not read yet, conversations you have not had yet, and opportunities for healing that may arrive when you least expect them. Stay open to growth. Stay open to kindness. Stay open to the possibility that people can surprise us in beautiful ways when they choose honesty over fear. And just when it seems like this quiet season will continue forever, someone is preparing to say the words they have carried in silence for far too long. What those words are, and why they waited until now to say them, is a story that begins in the next chapter. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. If these words have found you today, let them be a reminder that some of life's most meaningful moments begin quietly, long before anyone notices them. There are seasons when the heart changes in silence. No dramatic announcement. No obvious sign. Just a slow awakening that transforms the way someone sees themselves, their choices, and the people who have truly mattered all along. The person you love has entered one of those seasons. Day after day, they have tried to convince themselves that keeping everything inside was the easiest path. They filled their schedule with work, responsibilities, and endless distractions, believing that staying busy would eventually erase the thoughts that kept returning whenever life became quiet. But every evening, when the noise faded and the world slowed down, they found themselves thinking about the same memories. They remembered conversations that once seemed ordinary but now carried unexpected meaning. They remembered the kindness you showed when they least deserved it. They remembered the encouragement you offered without asking for anything in return. Most of all, they remembered how different life felt whenever you were part of it. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Sometimes we don't realize the value of a connection until time gives us enough distance to see it clearly. Looking back has a way of revealing details that once went unnoticed. The person in this story has begun seeing those details everywhere. A favorite coffee shop reminds them of a conversation they never forgot. A familiar road brings back the memory of laughter that still echoes in their mind. Even an ordinary sunset seems to carry a quiet invitation to slow down and reflect. They have discovered that memories are not simply snapshots of the past. They are reminders of who we were becoming in those moments and the people who helped shape that journey. Every time they reflect, one truth becomes clearer than before: some people leave a mark on your heart that time cannot easily erase. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. During this season of reflection, they have also begun questioning the fears that once controlled their decisions. Why did they believe vulnerability was weakness? Why did they think silence would protect them? Why did they assume that avoiding difficult conversations would somehow make life easier? The answers have not been comfortable, but they have been honest. They now understand that fear often disguises itself as practicality. It convinces people to wait for the perfect moment, even though perfection rarely arrives. It encourages hesitation until opportunities quietly pass by. The person you love has started recognizing that pattern within themselves, and that realization has become the beginning of real change. Instead of asking how they can continue hiding their emotions, they have begun asking what kind of life they truly want to live. That question has changed everything. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Have you ever noticed how growth often happens so gradually that you don't recognize it until you look back? One day you realize you react differently to situations that once overwhelmed you. Conversations that would have filled you with anxiety now feel manageable. Old disappointments no longer carry the same weight they once did. That quiet transformation has been happening to you as well. Without realizing it, you have become more resilient. You have learned to appreciate peace instead of constantly chasing certainty. You have discovered that your worth does not depend on another person's ability to recognize it. These lessons have strengthened you in ways that cannot be measured. They have given you the ability to approach life with greater patience, greater compassion, and greater confidence in yourself. Whatever happens next, those qualities will remain part of who you are. They are not temporary emotions. They are lasting strengths built through experience. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. As this story continues, imagine someone standing in front of an old door they have avoided opening for years. Behind it are memories they have been afraid to revisit, questions they have been unwilling to answer, and feelings they have tried to convince themselves no longer matter. For a long time, they walked past that door without stopping. But recently, something has changed. Instead of looking away, they have found themselves reaching for the handle. Not because they suddenly know exactly what will happen, but because they have realized that avoiding the truth has become more painful than facing it. That single moment of courage may seem small, yet it marks the beginning of an entirely new chapter. Every meaningful journey includes a moment like this, when someone decides that honesty deserves a chance, even if the outcome remains uncertain. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Along the way, they have started paying attention to the little reminders that encourage them to slow down. Maybe they glance at the clock and notice 11:11. Maybe they see repeating numbers like 222, 333, or 777 during meaningful moments. Many people choose to treat these patterns as simple prompts to pause, reflect, and reconnect with hope. Whether you see them as symbolic or simply as coincidences that inspire mindfulness, they have encouraged this person to become more present instead of constantly living inside regret or worry. Rather than searching endlessly for certainty, they are learning to appreciate the quiet wisdom that comes from paying attention to the present moment. In doing so, they are beginning to hear their own heart more clearly than ever before. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. There is another realization slowly growing inside them, and it may be the most important one yet. They are beginning to understand that genuine connection is never built on perfection. It grows through honesty, respect, forgiveness, and the willingness to keep learning. No relationship escapes misunderstanding. No person gets every decision right. What matters most is the courage to acknowledge mistakes, to grow from them, and to approach the future with greater wisdom than the past. That is exactly what they are trying to do now. They are no longer interested in pretending they have all the answers. Instead, they are becoming someone willing to ask difficult questions, listen carefully, and speak sincerely. Growth has changed their priorities. What once seemed important no longer feels meaningful. What once seemed impossible now feels worth attempting. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. As you continue moving through your own life, remember that your journey is unfolding at its own pace. There is no need to compare your story with anyone else's. Every person learns, heals, and changes differently. Some lessons arrive quickly. Others take years to fully understand. What matters is not how fast the journey unfolds but how deeply it shapes the person you become along the way. Continue choosing kindness when bitterness feels easier. Continue choosing hope when doubt seems louder. Continue building a life that reflects your values, your dreams, and your peace. Those choices create a foundation that no disappointment can easily shake. They prepare you for meaningful conversations, healthy relationships, and unexpected opportunities that often appear when you are focused on becoming the best version of yourself. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. The person you love is closer than ever to expressing what they have carried in silence for so long. Not because every fear has disappeared, but because they have realized that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. They are discovering that some words become heavier the longer they remain unspoken, and some conversations become more important with every passing day. Their heart is no longer asking whether the truth matters. It is asking how much longer they can keep it hidden. That question has become impossible to ignore. And just when they believe they are finally ready to take the first step, an unexpected moment is about to place both of your stories on the same path, a moment that neither of you could have planned, but one that may change the way you both remember this chapter forever. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. If you've stayed with this message until now, it's because something inside you is still searching for clarity, still believing that some connections are too meaningful to be forgotten. Life has a quiet way of bringing us back to the lessons we haven't fully understood, not to keep us trapped in the past, but to help us move toward a future built on greater honesty and deeper wisdom. The person you love has reached one of those life-changing moments. For so long, they believed they could keep moving forward without ever looking back. They convinced themselves that if they stayed busy enough, if they focused on responsibilities, goals, and everyday routines, eventually the questions inside their heart would fade away. But instead of disappearing, those questions became stronger. Every time they crossed paths with something familiar, every time a memory unexpectedly surfaced, every time they experienced a quiet moment without distractions, they realized there was still something unfinished within them. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. They have started noticing how life often speaks through ordinary moments rather than dramatic events. A familiar song playing in the grocery store suddenly stops them in their tracks. A place they haven't visited in years brings back memories with surprising clarity. They hear someone laugh in a way that reminds them of happier days, and for just a moment, time seems to slow down. These experiences don't tell them what the future will be. Instead, they remind them of something even more important, that meaningful connections leave lasting impressions. The people who truly change our lives rarely disappear completely from our hearts. Their influence remains with us, shaping how we love, how we trust, and how we grow long after the moment itself has passed. That realization has become impossible for them to ignore. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. While they have been reflecting on the past, something beautiful has also been happening inside you. You have been learning to find peace without needing every answer immediately. There was a time when uncertainty felt overwhelming. You searched for signs in every conversation, every message, every silence, hoping something would finally explain everything you had been feeling. But little by little, you began discovering that peace isn't found by controlling every outcome. It grows when you learn to trust yourself, appreciate the present, and continue moving forward with hope. That quiet confidence has become one of your greatest strengths. Even if you don't always recognize it, the way you respond to life today is different from who you were months ago. You carry yourself with more patience. You listen more carefully. You understand that healing is rarely a straight path. Those changes matter more than you realize. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. The person you love has also been changing in ways they never expected. They are beginning to understand that protecting themselves by staying silent has come at a cost. Every emotion they refused to acknowledge created more distance between who they were and who they wanted to become. They have stopped blaming circumstances for everything that happened. Instead, they have started asking themselves difficult questions. What would have happened if they had been more honest? What opportunities did fear quietly take away? What conversations could have changed everything if they had only found the courage to begin them? These questions don't fill them with regret alone. They fill them with determination. They are no longer interested in remaining the same person who once allowed fear to make important decisions. They want to become someone who speaks with sincerity, listens with compassion, and values authentic connection over temporary comfort. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Have you noticed how certain numbers seem to appear during moments of reflection? Maybe you've looked at the clock at 11:11, or perhaps you've noticed 222, 333, 444, or 777 appearing throughout your day. Many people treat these patterns as gentle reminders to slow down, become more mindful, and reconnect with hope. Whether they are meaningful symbols to you or simply interesting coincidences, they can serve as invitations to pause and reflect on the direction of your life. The person you love has been experiencing similar moments. Instead of rushing past them, they have started using them as reminders to breathe, think, and listen to the quiet voice inside themselves. They are discovering that clarity often arrives not during life's busiest moments but during its stillest ones. It is in those moments that they have begun realizing just how important honesty has become. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Imagine standing beside a lake early in the morning before the wind begins to blow. The surface is calm enough to reflect the sky with remarkable clarity. But the moment the water becomes restless, that reflection begins to disappear. Our hearts can be similar. When fear, worry, and constant distraction take over, it becomes difficult to see anything clearly. But when we create space for quiet reflection, our perspective begins to change. That is exactly what has been happening. The person you love has finally slowed down enough to see themselves honestly. They recognize where they were afraid. They recognize where they misunderstood their own emotions. Most importantly, they recognize that avoiding the truth never brought the peace they hoped it would. That realization has become the beginning of a new chapter, one built not on perfection but on authenticity. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. As this transformation continues, they have started appreciating qualities they once overlooked. They remember your patience during difficult conversations. They remember the encouragement you offered without expecting anything in return. They remember feeling accepted for who they were, even during moments when they struggled to accept themselves. Looking back has given them a new perspective. They no longer see those memories as ordinary moments. They see them as reminders of the kind of connection they hope to build in every meaningful relationship. Whether or not the future unfolds exactly as they imagine, they know one thing with certainty. Honesty is no longer something they want to postpone. Every day spent hiding the truth feels heavier than the day before. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Your own journey has prepared you for this season in ways you may not yet fully appreciate. Every disappointment has taught you resilience. Every unanswered question has strengthened your intuition. Every difficult goodbye has helped you understand the importance of genuine connection. These experiences have shaped you into someone capable of meeting life with greater wisdom than before. That doesn't mean you no longer feel uncertainty. It means uncertainty no longer controls you. You have learned to continue living, growing, and loving even when every answer has not yet arrived. That quiet strength is one of the greatest gifts you could have developed. It allows you to approach the future with openness instead of fear. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. The person you love is standing closer than ever to a conversation they once believed would never happen. They are rehearsing words in their mind, wondering how to express feelings that have been hidden for so long. They know that honesty cannot change the past, but they also understand that it can change the future. They are beginning to believe that some opportunities deserve courage, even when certainty is impossible. That belief has quietly transformed the way they see tomorrow. They are no longer asking whether they should keep everything inside. They are asking how they can express themselves with kindness, respect, and sincerity. That shift changes everything. Listen carefully, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. As you continue forward, remember that every meaningful relationship is built one honest moment at a time. Continue choosing peace over panic, patience over pressure, and authenticity over appearances. Allow yourself to appreciate how much you have grown, regardless of what tomorrow brings. Your story is still unfolding, and some of its most meaningful chapters have not yet been written. The road ahead may include conversations you never expected, answers you stopped looking for, and opportunities that arrive when your heart is finally ready to receive them. And just when it seems as though everything has become quiet again, one unexpected message, one chance encounter, or one simple conversation is about to reveal the truth that has been waiting patiently beneath the surface all along, and what happens next will become the turning point neither of you saw coming. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. There comes a moment in every meaningful connection when silence becomes too heavy to carry. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens little by little, after countless nights of overthinking, after replaying old conversations, after wondering whether one more day of pretending will somehow make the feelings disappear. But feelings that are genuine rarely disappear. They wait. They become quieter for a while, hidden beneath busy schedules, responsibilities, and everyday routines, yet they continue living beneath the surface. The person you love has reached that exact moment. For the first time in a very long time, they have stopped asking themselves how to keep these emotions hidden. Instead, they have started asking themselves what kind of life they want to build if they continue refusing to speak honestly. That question has followed them everywhere. It has been with them during quiet mornings, long drives, sleepless nights, and ordinary afternoons when the smallest reminder unexpectedly brought your memory back into their heart. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. There are memories they never admitted they held on to. They remember the kindness you showed without expecting recognition. They remember moments when you believed in them before they believed in themselves. They remember the conversations that seemed ordinary at the time but now feel priceless. They even remember the moments when they walked away too quickly because fear convinced them that distance would be easier than vulnerability. Looking back, they no longer see those moments as mistakes that define them. Instead, they see them as lessons that changed them. Every regret became a teacher. Every missed opportunity became a reminder that tomorrow is never guaranteed. Every quiet goodbye became a reason to appreciate honesty more than pride. They are beginning to understand that people rarely regret loving sincerely. More often, they regret the words they never spoke while they still had the chance. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. While these realizations have been unfolding inside them, something equally important has been happening within you. You have become stronger than you realize. Think about the person you were when this journey first began. You carried questions that seemed impossible to answer. You wondered why certain connections stayed in your heart long after life moved forward. You searched for certainty everywhere because uncertainty felt unbearable. Yet today, even if you still carry hope, you also carry wisdom. You have learned that healing is not about forgetting people who mattered. Healing is about remembering them without losing yourself. It is about allowing love to teach you compassion instead of fear. It is about discovering that your value has never depended on another person's readiness to understand your heart. Those lessons have transformed you quietly, one day at a time, until you became someone capable of loving without abandoning your own peace. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Imagine standing in the middle of a long road just before sunrise. Behind you are miles filled with uncertainty, disappointment, unexpected blessings, and lessons you never asked to learn. Ahead of you, the road disappears into soft morning light. You cannot see every turn waiting for you, but you can see enough to take the next step. That is where both of your journeys have arrived. Neither of you knows every answer yet. Neither of you can rewrite what has already happened. But both of you have changed because of everything you have lived through. Sometimes that is the real beginning, not when circumstances become perfect, but when two people become wiser than they once were. The person you love has reached that place. They no longer want to be remembered as someone who allowed fear to make every important decision. They want to become someone who speaks honestly, even when their voice trembles. They want to become someone who values truth more than temporary comfort. That desire has been growing stronger every single day. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. There are evenings when they almost reach for their phone, only to stop and wonder if too much time has passed. They replay different versions of the same conversation in their mind. They imagine saying hello. They imagine apologizing. They imagine thanking you for the impact you had on their life. Then doubt whispers that maybe it is too late. But another voice answers quietly, reminding them that sincere words still have value, even when they arrive later than expected. That inner struggle has become impossible to ignore. It is changing the way they see tomorrow. Instead of imagining reasons to remain silent, they have started imagining the peace that honesty could bring. Whether that honesty leads to a new beginning or simply offers long-awaited closure, they know one thing with certainty: pretending no longer feels like freedom. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Life has a remarkable way of surprising us when we stop trying to force every outcome. Some of the most meaningful conversations happen unexpectedly. A familiar place. An unexpected message. A chance encounter. A simple question that opens the door to a deeper conversation. We cannot predict exactly when these moments will happen, but we can prepare our hearts to meet them with grace instead of fear. That is what this season has been teaching both of you. It has been teaching patience without losing hope. It has been teaching forgiveness without forgetting wisdom. It has been teaching courage through small choices made every single day. Growth rarely arrives with applause. Most of the time, it arrives quietly, until one ordinary day you realize you have become someone your younger self would hardly recognize. That quiet transformation is already taking place. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. If there is one truth worth holding on to as this chapter continues, it is this: the most meaningful words are often the ones spoken from an honest heart. Whether those words become the beginning of something new or simply bring understanding where there was once confusion, they have the power to change people. The person you love is beginning to understand that carrying the truth forever is far more exhausting than expressing it with sincerity. They are discovering that vulnerability is not a weakness to hide from but a strength that makes genuine connection possible. And perhaps that is the message this story has been leading toward all along, not the promise of a perfect ending, but the reminder that honesty, kindness, and courage have the ability to transform lives. So continue moving forward with hope. Continue choosing peace over fear. Continue believing that every experience, even the painful ones, can shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Because just when it seems that everything has settled into silence once again, a single heartfelt conversation is about to begin, and the words that have remained hidden for so long may finally find their way into the light, changing both hearts in ways neither of you could have imagined.